Called David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. And the Taxation Annual Rates, Returns Filing and Remedial Matters Bill is something that is important because it does set the tax rates for New Zealand going forward. Each year we set the tax rates, and this is very important because it's part of the growth plan for New Zealand. And you've heard the other side of the House, the Labor Party, indicate that they're not very happy with that growth plan, and they would much rather a plan very similar to what the Americans have of very high taxation leading to no growth. And New Zealand has a much better plan where we incentivise people to get out there and make success of their opportunities and their abilities. And we hear a few on the Labor side reacting to those comments because they know that's the truth, that the US economy isn't doing so well, and that their plans would even put New Zealand further into the quandary of the world economic malaise, and not lead to us getting out of the problems in a quick and successful manner. And the Greens also, with their comments around debt, it's interesting when you go to an election candidates meeting at the moment, because the Green Party stands there and listens and then says, yes, we'll do everything that anybody wants. And so money's no limit to the Green Party. And when they go along to these meetings, they've got no limit to what they'll spend. And then they come into this House and talk about debt and say that debt is too high. Well, if you look at green policies and added them up, you'd come to some real big debts. And that's the nature of the Green Party over there. But this bill is important because the National Party and this government is firmly focused on lifting New Zealand's economic performance. We want to set in for New Zealand citizens these strategies and the approaches so that that economic performance can lift, and taxation is one of those key elements. There are also a number of other parts in the bill that are important that people would want to acknowledge, and they are in regard to handling of tax returns with the ability to do those obligations electronically, and that's very important in a modern world where a lot of businesses and individuals use electronic means of communication and also accounting records, and so it makes sense that if we can simplify the tax filing requirements, that is good for New Zealanders. Also, there's some announcements in regard to software development expenditure, and that will now be deductible under this bill. And that's very important because a lot of New Zealand's high-tech companies do engage in software development, and it's one of those things where not necessarily every project that is engaged in will be successful. And the ability to write off those non-successful or unsuccessful ventures into the software development are important so that companies still continue to do so and don't feel that they've got that once they've used their one go at software development, that they feel that they compromise their ability to do that, and so stop further software developments, which is important for New Zealand high-tech industry to maintain and enhance its ability to deliver products to the world stage that have the highest degree of technological input, and that's especially through the software development. And I know our members may be laughing at that point, just because of my slip up in the pronunciation. Yes, very nice. Yeah. And there's also some measures around KiwiSaver, which are in this bill, and the Labor Party did make some comments about KiwiSaver, and I think it was Shane Jones, that member that's known for his words on principled approaches. I think he used the word that the Labor Party took a principled approach to KiwiSaver. Well, that can't be anything further from the truth. The reality is that the Labor Party used KiwiSaver to buy votes, as they have done in previous elections, and they have continued to do in other policies. It was merely a vote-buying approach by the Labor Party, and it's not principled in any sense of the imagination, and it's very sad to see someone like Shane Jones come into this House and use those words when he's referring to a policy like that was simply there to try and retain power for the Labor Party. When we look at those changes around KiwiSaver, it's important to look at setting the right signals around retirement, and also to give Kiwis and New Zealanders, the New Zealand taxpayers, the opportunity to save for their retirement in a way which they can do in a fair but also balanced approach, so that New Zealanders do and have the opportunity, but also are realistic about what those contributions can be and what they need to be to ensure that that scheme is viable and that this country as a whole is able to maintain that retirement savings approach through KiwiSaver. So those changes are very important when you look at what is necessary to encourage and to achieve the purposes we need for New Zealanders going into retirement. There are also some changes that have been made around Phoenix fraud schemes and GST on those schemes. We've done a number of bills in this House around Phoenix transactions and schemes, and this is part of that approach. Those bills have really been there to try and to put a dampener on that tax evasion that has been occurring through the use of such schemes, and this ensures that the recent changes in GST on Phoenix fraud schemes and the apportionment of input tax deductions operate as they were intended. So that's an important part of this piece of legislation as well. So when we look at the legislation, there's also some clarification of treatment of GST on late payment fees, and there's some changes in relation to fees being charged for binding rulings and depreciation determinations, and some clarification of entitlements to working for families tax credits. So basically the bill has a number of elements of it that are important for the economy going forward. The first thing are those tax rates that are crucial in setting the economic growth agenda that we need for New Zealand and sending the right signals and incentives to our citizens as they look forward to what their opportunities are in the economic platform that we have created. And only by lifting that economic performance can we create the jobs and opportunities to boost incomes and improve the living standards of our people going forward. The taxation bill had a number, that was the core part of the bill, was setting those tax rates, but as we said earlier, it also has some other very important issues that are attended to in the bill around software development, and also in regard to the KiwiSaver minimum contribution rates for employees and employees, and the minimum equity holding for foreign-owned banks, which were contained in this bill. So in essence, this bill is, the bill also covers some clarification of some minor GST and depreciation determinations. So we look forward to this bill passing through the House, Mr. Speaker.
Members, the question is that the motion be agreed to. Those of that opinion will say aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. Party votes called for. I'll ask the clerk for a party vote.
New Zealand National.
57 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
42 votes in favour.
Green Party.
9 votes opposed.
Action New Zealand.
5 votes in favour.
Māori Party.
Ka whai tautukuan.
Progressive.
1 vote in favour.
United Future.
1 vote in favour.
Mana.
1 vote opposed.
Honourable Chris Carter.
1 vote opposed.
Members, the ayes are 110, the noes are 11. The motion is agreed to.
Annual Rates, Returns Filing and Remedial Matters Bill, first reading.
The Honourable Peter Dunn.